Okay. So, summer 2018, I came up with this plan of moving to Europe, but it wasn't just moving to Europe because I also wanted to continue to pursue what I felt like I was drawn to. And that was like creativity and like business and like all these things. And when you really think about it, creativity and business are very like opposites, which just makes it more difficult. But anyways, I also needed to leave my living situation because I couldn't stay there. Um, I needed to figure out how I was gonna, I was trying to get a job and everything like that, and just I need to figure out a more s- just a better overall living situation for myself. So I came up with this fucking crazy plan, bro. Like this is a very underrated hack that I might talk about in another video. Because I basically finessed the education system. Um, yeah, I basically finessed the whole education system, which I'm pretty stoked about. But school, I'm gonna also make another video about this. Why I feel like school is has a certain utility. Because all the entrepreneurs, whatever they say, like, oh fuck school, da, 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 da. And there's certain aspects, um, like the debt situation, but there are other things that I think can be useful. And one of these things is that school is one of the best ways to gain access or entry somewhere or a certain group. Um, so for me, I was trying to go to Europe, and very rarely, do they deny people access to higher education in certain countries. Like if you're trying to go to university in the country, they're not gonna fucking be like all weird about it. I mean, obviously it depends, like if you can do that, if you can get the credentials and stuff. And now I'm very fortunate in that I have dual citizenship with Europe, which made my situation a lot easier. But the program itself was very international. Like people came from everywhere. But school is a hack for that. Like if you want to, like, say you live in New York and you want to move to California or something like that, try to get into a school, try to get into maybe a program or something like that. And then that will give you, not the excuse, but the reason to go there. And then generally, you can find um like part-time job or whatever while you're there, because rarely do people turn down students for jobs. If you go there and like, oh, I'm a student at this university, like I need something to cover my living expenses, like so then the school generally will have resources to help you out with that and stuff. So that's just a very underrated thing if you're trying to move situations or move geographically, and you're just still young, like 18, whatever, like 20. Even later, bro, like if you want to do masters or whatever, like that's just a very underrated hack. So that was my hack. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to Europe and do fashion and business. Which is what I did, because Europe, I would have to make another video about this because there was something so critical that I learned, because during that summer 2018, I was also in summer school. And I learned about something that just changed my fucking entire life, bro. Like literally. So I'm gonna make another series about that too. Um, that what sort of like motivated that action for me. Um, so anyway, so I came up with this plan to move to Europe and everything. Um, and then school started back up. And fall 2018 was really, I mean, the whole year was fucking difficult, but I think fall 2018 was probably like the hardest part of that year, because I was just going through a lot, bro. Like I was I was still doing rehab. Um, my mom, she had cancer. There was a huge ass fire that basically almost burnt down our entire house. Um, and then, my relationship was still aggravated and fractured. Um, my family relationships were still very, very much fractured. My uh my actual relationship that I had with my ex at the time was fractured, somewhat broken. Um, and so like my day to day, bro, like I was waking up at like 6. I would go train. So I'd wake up at 6. I would go train. Um, then I would wait lift for an hour. This was every day. This was every day for the whole year, basically. Um, I would train 7 to 8. I would go to class around like 8:30, 9, something like that. Then I would uh come back, do rehab for an hour. Then I would go to practice. I would get lunch and then I would go to practice. Then I would do practice from like 1 to maybe like 4 or something like that. And then I would fucking go back, change, get my dinner ready, and then go work from 5 to like 10:30, 11, and then come back, sleep. And that was like on repeat for fucking a long ass time. Um, and I felt stuck. I felt stuck, but I had this like North Star, like what I was saying earlier, that like I chose, I was already in a position of sacrifice for and ready to suffer. Like I was already gone mentally, you know what I'm saying? So it made it, I don't want to say it made it easier, but I was basically dead inside, bro. Like, like just to keep it 1,000, bro. I was like basically dead, as like dead inside. And that helped me, honestly, because there's no way I would have gotten through certain situations if I wasn't in that mind state. Um, you know, I had found out certain things about my relationship, bro. Like I remember just driving in the car one day with a friend and something had happened, and my friend, she told me something about my ex at the time. And I just remember I lost it, bro. I was like, fuck. Like in the car, I was just like, fuck. I just got so pissed, bro. Like all this shit. It just felt like nobody would just like holding it together. You know what I'm saying? Like I was going through so much. I just needed people to be, or that were around me. I just needed them to fucking be solid, bro. Like I just needed them to just be solid. Not do anything like to just fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and shit just kept happening. So yeah, anyways. Um, so basically that was, I was working, uh and I met this dude. He was a CEO of the place that I was working at. I was working at a smoothie shop. And he was like a heroin addict. Like he used to be. He wasn't a CEO and a heroin addict, but he used to be a heroin addict and was like homeless. And he just got himself together and was able to like create a really sick organization. Like, and I remember he was at the spot one time, and I just went up to talk to him, like, if you had any recommendations for someone like in my position, or like a book or something that you would suggest like for me. Because at this time I was still trying to learn how to trust myself. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a point where, some people go their whole lives looking for some type of guidance um about what they should do, who they should listen to. And I have another series planned for this. Um, but really you have a certain intuition, a certain guidance that if you cultivate and you do enough things in your life, you learn how to trust. You learn how to trust in yourself, and that trust is how you build confidence, which I will also talk about later on. Um So at this point I was still looking for certain guidance, especially coming from a fatherless home. You know, you need that. You do need that. You do need help in that aspect. And this was at the point where I was still mending the relationship with my father. But we weren't close, we weren't close at all yet at this point. Um, so that's what I was looking for. And so now it's like crossing over to 2019. I was getting ready for the GRE because I was trying to do the business school thing in France and the art thing. So I was working a lot to like put my whole portfolio together, the video is already normally on this channel. I put a whole portfolio together, which got me into Central St. Martin's. And then my work that I was doing with my organization for like the past 2 years was sort of like a portfolio that helped me get into the business school in France. Um, so I was studying to take the GRE. Uh, Hindsight, maybe I wish I would have taken the GMAT, but you know, everything worked out the way it was supposed to. And then so yeah, so that was sort of like the end of 2018, then going into 2019. Yeah, maybe probably make another part.